As Mark Twain once said, the secret to getting ahead is getting started. Here we go. Hello, everybody. This week, as many of Ohio's school-age children return to school with the Common Core education standards leading the way, the Ohio House began hearings on House Bill 597 that would eliminate those same Common Core standards. In a rare move, this obviously education-focused bill was referred to the Rules and Reference Committee, a clear sign that House leadership expects fast and favorable committee action. Last week we were in Boston for the ABA annual meeting. While there, we visited a few interesting places, including Mark Twain's home in Hartford, Connecticut. Here's what we learned about the place and the man. We're here with Mallory Howard of the Mark Twain Home and Museum in Hartford, Connecticut. Mallory, thanks for sitting down to talk with the OSBA today.
Oh, no problem. I'm excited to chat.
Tell us about the home here. We're going to be looking at it very soon, but tell us some of the features of the home that lawyers in Ohio may be interested in.
Well, Twain actually came to Hartford for the first time in 1868. It was the publishing capital of the nation. It was the wealthiest city in the country at that time. So he comes here and he ends up meeting with a publisher, and they help him put out his first book, which is called Innocents Abroad. And he falls in love with Hartford, thinks it's beautiful, and decides he wants to settle here.
His father had, I don't know if he was a lawyer, but had some judicial training of some sort. Is that right?
Yeah, he'd sometimes be a lawyer, sometimes be a judge, it was said, but wasn't very successful at it. But that was really when Twain's first introduced to law, when his father was doing so. And even his brother Orion, he eventually is made Secretary of the Nevada Territory by President Lincoln. Twain heads with him out west and actually becomes a lobbyist for the Nevada legislature, so he has a little bit more experience there. And throughout his life, he's constantly dealing with lawyers, and you can see that also in his writing a little bit.
Well, did he get sued a lot, or did he sue a lot of people?
He sued a lot, yes. Twain was a little bit sue-happy, I would say. There's one story about him suing because he thinks that a taxi driver overcharges one of his servants, so he sues them. When he's living in Florence, Italy, he sues sort of the landlady that he's renting the house from. He sues on medical bills, and he gets very much into copyright law eventually as well, and that's where the sort of infamous white suit comes into play when he's in Washington, D.C. fighting against copyright law. He wants to make sure his children are taken care of, and the copyright laws are changed to be able to do that he gets the money he deserves. So he's constantly waging these sort of small and large legal battles, I would say. Twain had problems with making good financial decisions and business ventures. It was said that Alexander Graham Bell at one point tried to get him to invest in the telephone, and he turned that down. Instead, he invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into something called the Page Compositor, which was a typesetting machine thought to revolutionize the printing industry. Never ended up working. It had about 18,000 movable parts, and because of that, they could no longer afford to live in this area, and so they had to move out of the house.
This is the famous billiard room.
It is.
Tell us about it.
The billiard room sort of becomes his man cave. This is where he spends a lot of his time. You can see the billiard table. He loves to play billiards, smoke cigars. He'd hang out with his friends. And this is where he would do the writing when he was in Hartford. He would actually work at a desk in the corner. It would be facing the wall because Twain was known to get distracted. So if he's sitting at a desk in the middle, he'd see the billiard table, he'd see the porch, he'd get up, start fooling around, get distracted, daydream, not get anything accomplished.
A little ADHD maybe?
A little, probably, yeah. He loved to always be active and playing, and so he had to really focus sometimes.
I want to thank the Mark Twain Home and Museum for talking with us and allowing us to shoot inside the home. It's kind of a rare privilege. The Twain Home is a 501c3 that conducts tours daily. It is also recognized by National Geographic as one of the 10 most historic homes in the world. Remember, as Twain said, all you need to succeed in life is ignorance and confidence. That's the word on the square. This is Todd Book with On The Books.